देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। यहाँ वहाँ कहाँ ढूंढे प्यारे प्रभु निस दिन है तेरे साथ। देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। यहाँ वहाँ कहाँ ढूंढे प्यारे प्रभु निश दिन है तेरे साथ। देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। इंद्रिय मन बुद्धि के चालक प्रभु ही है इस रथ के मालिक। प्रभु ही है इस रथ के मालिक। इंद्रिय मन बुद्धि के चालक प्रभु ही है इस रथ के मालिक। प्रभु ही है इस रथ के मालिक। भूत भविष्यत वर्तमान तेरा, भूत भविष्यत वर्तमान तेरा, सौंप दे सब कुछ दुआर प्रभु तेरे हाथ। सौंप दे सब कुछ दुआर प्रभु तेरे हाथ। देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास। प्रभु तो है तेरे ही ऊर में, ढूंढो मन निज अंतःपुर में। ढूंढो मन निज अंतःपुर में। प्रभु तो है तेरे ही उर में, ढूंढो मन निज अंतःपुर में। ढूंढो मन निज अंतःपुर में। आंख मूंद कर ध्यान लगाओ, आंख मूंद कर ध्यान लगाओ, प्रभु तो है सदा तेरे ही पास, देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास, यहाँ वहाँ कहाँ ढूंढे प्यारे, प्रभु निश दिन है तेरे साथ, प्रभु निश दिन है तेरे साथ, देह के ताज महल में प्रभु का नित्य निवास. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was so melodious and lovely. Lovely to start a day with such a beautiful song. Thank you so much. I'll now hand it over to Shibu, where we can start yet another beautiful meditation. Over to you, Shibu.
Thank you, Sunil. Good morning, good evening, dear friends. Thank you so much, Mangala ma'am. What a beautiful song. Deh ke Taj Mahal mein Prabhu ka Nitya Nivas. Wow, wow. And you gave all the instructions too. So that song had all the instructions. Close your eyes, all of that. So beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Essentially, friends, yesterday, Sunil walked us through the 18 principles and vegetarianism. The essence of vegetarianism is love and dharma, which is the natural order of things. Right? So love is oneness. Oneness means there is no separation. They're all one. So in body consciousness, as we discussed, there is separation. There's always a separation because we are thinking and we are conscious from a body perspective. Soul consciousness, it is always oneness. This whole journey is a journey from asat to sat, body consciousness to soul consciousness. Meditation is an enabler. So let's start our meditation for today, dear friends. It's going to be a shorter meditation today of 25 minutes. And we'll also have a guided meditation towards the end. So let's begin our meditation. You know the procedure. I know many people have already taken out their specs. Thank you. That's the first thing to do. Second, comfortable posture, Sukhasana. Sit comfortably. However and whatever makes you comfortable, makes your body comfortable. Clasp your hands. Cross your feet. Close your eyes, the most important step. Let's be absolutely comfortable, dear friends. Take your time. Scan your body. See if there is any tension anywhere. Head to toe. Take your time. Let's drop all the mental burdens. No doing. Everything can wait. Relax every cell of your body. Slowly, be aware of your normal, natural breath. Your in breath, out breath. Just be with your normal, natural breath. Anapanasati. Let's not control or manipulate our breath. Just observe. Just be with the breath. Breath is our best friend. Let's be with our best friend. Normal, natural breath. Thoughts arise, it's okay. Simply come back to breath. Continue being with your breath, dear friends. Normal, natural, easy flow of breath. Last 10 minutes. Slowly come back, dear friends. Please bring your awareness to your body. Whenever you're ready, unclasp your hands. Place the fingers on your eyes for 5 to 10 seconds. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shibu. That was wonderful. Patrija's flute also added a great essence to it. Thank you so much. Friends, let me now invite the speaker for today, Mr. Sampath Kumar. Hi, Sampath. Good morning. Over to you.
Good morning, Sunil. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, Shibu.
Good morning, Sampath.
Yeah. Today, I want to tell that we are left with 2 days from tomorrow and day after. That's all. So we'll keep pyramid energy, and we'll talk about pyramid structure, angle energy, and also pyramid valley a bit. Which Sagarsan will be taking tomorrow. And on the final day, we will have no topic, but only interactions, experiences, and we'll keep it totally for the participants. So today, why don't you do a quick recap of what we have done till now? After that, we'll have today's session by Prithvi. Small topic, which is important. So can you please do the recap?
Sure, Sampath. Sounds good. I'll now share my screen. Sunil or Sampath, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So friends, as Sampath mentioned, let's do a very quick recap of this last 18 days of knowledge sessions. So we have seen this content. This has been presented in detail. This is a very, very quick overview. And this will highlight the key words and which will help us kind of index the whole wisdom which has been shared so far. Day 1 was how to meditate. So here, this is where we learned the 5-step process. And the last 19 days, we have been practicing this. So essentially the comfortable posture, close your eyes, clasp your hands, cross your legs, be with your natural breath, the 5 simple steps. On that day, we also looked at the benefits of meditation, and now it is experiential to us, right? So, and we also noted that the attitude is important. Never doubt our ability to meditate. Second day was a session by Prithvi on the states of mind. So here we learned about the brain waves and how it's linked to the different states of consciousness. So we learned there is a high beta and low beta. High beta is when we are sitting for meditation, the monkey mind. The low beta is when we start observing the breath. So the continuous thoughts comes in. And then the alpha is right in the middle of the spectrum, where it's an effective state to make decisions, gain clarity, it's gateway to creativity, etc. So it's here is where we had much more focused attention on the breath. And it's also the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So followed by the theta wave. So here it's the healing frequency. and the state of consciousness is the subconscious. Followed by the delta, which is no body, no mind, energy flow, just thoughtless. And the state of mind, or the state of consciousness rather, is the collective consciousness, or the unconscious. Gamma is where there is a rush of insights, or the superconscious state. Third day, we went into breath meditation and experiences in meditation. So we looked into the why aspect of meditation. Why? It's because the breath is one thing which goes beyond the mind. And the goal of meditation is to get into a state of no thoughts, right? So with that, that's why we are doing this. We looked into various types of experiences. And the most important thing is experiences is not a must. Just observe, enjoy the experiences, and let go. Do not judge, do not analyze. Analysis means mind is coming in and there is no basis for it, right? Just observe, enjoy, let go. Those are the keywords. Next day, day 4, we went into body-mind connection. So here, Prithvi walked us through this. 95% of our thoughts are repeated from the past, right? The past, that's how she started it. And what you feel at this moment depends on which thoughts your awareness is on. So essentially, we are letting the environment or the external factors, like the external people, situations, etc., we're letting them take control of our awareness, and that's actually creating the reality for us, right? So if you look at it, so that's what the statement says, you're letting your environment to create your reality. Using meditation, we take responsibility of directing your awareness. So that is why we again come back to why the meditation, or breath meditation rather, is very important. So next day, day 5, we looked into Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path. So here this is the 8 practices which Buddha taught, which will lead us to enlightenment or end of suffering. So at the base, if you look at it, that's the morality aspect of it. The three practices there, which is the right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So morality is the basis. If you look at it this way, right, the foundation is morality, or the Shila. So that's the basis for us to attain concentration, or the Samadhi. In Samadhi, once we attain Samadhi, that is where we start seeing things as they are, the truth, the unchanging truth. And there are 3 practices there: the right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. And after this, above this is the prajna, or the wisdom, which is the right understanding, the right thought. And a good thing to link here is one statement, or Patriji's wisdom, which is a journey from wrong thinking to no thinking to the right thinking. Day 6 was power of now. So we understood that all we have is the present moment. All the action is here and now, right? But we saw that we are always caught up between the past memory or future imagination. The only thing we can do, or any action rather, which we can take, is right now. So now is where the action or steps. So we also looked at the clock time versus psychological time, right? The clock time is dealing with the practical aspects, while psychological time is really not about practical, right? We're just stuck in the past or future. We also looked into the resistance to the now and meditation. So essentially, resistance to the now. How do we come out of it? It's by accepting the current situation, which kind of phrases from the life situation. So the 2 key things is meditation, with the eyes closed, mindfulness, with the eyes open. Next day is topic was energy. Everything is energy. So here, we looked into the ways to raise our vibration. Actually, before that, feelings like peace, certain feelings like peace, enlightenment, joy, these kind of things boost you into a higher vibration frequency, while the things which you see at the bottom of that picture, which is guilt, shame, grief, etc., puts you down into a lower frequency. And then on the right, you'll see the ways to raise your vibration. Definitely daily meditation helps. Second is emotional healing. And one thing which I remember from that day, which I really like, is you can't heal if you don't let yourself feel. So next is the diet. Actually, Sajjan Sangitya, which all of us are doing right now, right? The seekers of truth. Next is your diet is not only what you eat. It's also many other things like what we watch, read, people who you hang out with, those kind of things. And also the power of thought. Later, she also covered the 7 chakras and the various attributes of those chakras. Next day, the Sagar Manthan, conducted by Sunil. So Sagar Manthan essentially is the whole process of Sagar Manthan is the self-transformation process of human personality. It is the churning process. Self-transformation is rather the churning process, which requires integration of both the positive and the negative aspects. In the initial days of our practice, initial days of our spiritual journey or meditation, we'll see that many negativities will also surface. And we shouldn't stop there. We should just continue our practice. And also we'll see that as we progress, the delusion of mind in the form of ego will also come up, right? The real fruit or the amrit is after that, self-realization. All right, so moving on to the next is the ego and pain body. So here, Sagar sir walked us through the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And we also saw that image, it's not here, but the conscious mind being the tip of the iceberg, right? Everything is in the subconscious mind. All of the stress-causing thoughts and emotions are hidden inside the subconscious mind. So meditation allows us to kind of access the subconscious mind and reprogram these emotions which are stored there. And ego is the narrating mind, right? We looked at the various phases of ego, the identity, the correctness, etc. We also looked at the pain body. It's a very, very important concept. It's a negative energy form that lives inside of us. And it actually feeds on our negative thinking. The meditation and being in the present moment helps us with reducing the pain body. Right? We are aware that we have a pain body, but we are not the pain body. We don't fight with it, but we just witness it. Next is the journey of life, Ramayana. So here we looked at what is truth, what is reality. Truth is true forever, now at all times. Reality is true for a limited period of time. It has a time and space component to it. 2 purposes we looked at. There is a spiritual purpose and there is a earthly or a worldly purpose as well. Spiritual purpose being self-realization, and the earthly purpose essentially to learn from the various experiences. We create all these opportunities, learning opportunities, and we learn from it. We gain those experiences. We design those and we experience it. And then the beautiful story of Ramayana, the spiritual meaning of Ramayana rather. So we looked at Rama being the soul, Sita being the mind, Lakshmana being the awareness or the intellect, and Ravana being the ego. So when mind gets trapped by the ego, that's when we are in the body consciousness. That's when all the sufferings are, the Lanka. And now Hanuman, who is a breath, is the one which connects the mind to the soul. That's where we are in the soul consciousness or Ayodhya. The spiritual practice, as we defined, is essentially a journey from Lanka to Ayodhya, or rather the body consciousness to soul consciousness. Next, day was Domestication, conducted by Sampath. So here we looked at how as kids, we were dependent on our parents, we needed attention. Attention was a reward, right? So we understood from them what was right and what is wrong, what's acceptable by them and what's not acceptable. So we are essentially domesticated by our friends, family, relatives, society, all of it, right? So there is fear of non-acceptance. Because of the fear of non-acceptance, we started fitting in. And we created this book of law, and pain of sufferings. It just causes pain and suffering for us and for everybody else, right? We went away from our true self. Next 2 days, my dear friends, 12 and 13 was Ho'oponopono forgiveness and gratitude sessions. So Ho'oponopono is a healing technique. As the slide says, to make, so there is 2 ponos, it is doubly right, to make it doubly right for self and for everybody else. 4 statements, very, very simple, but very profound. It grows on you as we practice, right? Very real working technique. I am sorry. This is a starting point, right? Just helps us out of that ego state, which we talked about. Out of the ego state to a more of a connected state. That's I am sorry. When you say, please forgive me, when you really mean it, absolutely mean it, then you're taking 100% responsibility for the actions, 100%, not 90, not 95. I love you. This is the oneness. Love is oneness. This is where the healing happens. And thank you. Essentially accepting everything as is means absolutely no complaints, nothing. Next was on conscious creation. The key is thoughts. We create our own reality, as explained by Patriji, our founder. Thoughts and feelings, right? I mean, how do we create this conscious creation? The 3 key components, or rather 3 ways: thoughts and feelings, intuition, and active intention. And in case of thoughts and feelings, we have looked at the various type of elevated emotions and limited emotions. And we know gratitude is the highest of emotions. This is how we start our meditation: gratitude, ingratitude. And then intuition, Sagar sir explained that as our GPS, the right thought, the right time. And then the last is the active intention. He also explained the state of coherent mind, right? Using a coherent mind and active intention. So the next 2 days, which is 15 and 16, was the 4 agreements. So a couple of days ago, we looked at the domestication. And to come out of domestication, or rather the fear-based domestication, into a love-based or truth-based education, we needed these 4 agreements. And the 4 agreements are, as you can see, to be impeccable with your word, right? Never gossip. Word has the power. So always use it in the direction of truth and love. Never for creating black magic. We looked at a few examples how you can unconsciously even create black magic to your own family. So very, very important thing, and the most important of the 4 agreements. Second, don't take things personally, or anything personally rather. With this, we are shielded, right, from the poison. The poison is coming in because we are taking it personally. The moment we stop taking it personally, we are shielded from that personal or poison. It's our immunity. So the next thing is to not make assumptions. So rather, instead of making assumptions, communicate clearly as possible, and so that there is no misunderstanding. And the last is always, always do your best. That's an enabler for these 3 agreements and for everything else as well. This essentially gives us a freedom from our own judgments. So because we know we have given our best. There is a 5th, which is always be skeptical, but learn to listen, right? Essentially be open to everything. Always be open, right? We are spiritual seekers, experimenters. We do not go by prejudices. We are always open. And we don't have to believe anything, though. We don't have to believe everything, but we are open. Always use the power of doubt, which is a great tool. And day 16 itself, we had a session on conscious parenting by Prithvi. Here, we learned that the kids are natural observers, right? And in fact, the infants can pick up very complex skills just merely by observation, and they don't have to be actively told or coached by their parents. And Prithvi also mentioned that we should introduce meditation to our kids as early as possible, 5-6 years old. And we also understood the difference between nature and the nurture. And as the slide says, what human beings need is the nurture. It's in the form of right words, positive energy, and the most importantly, the love. And day 17 is when we looked at Swadhyaya, which is a very important concept, PSSM. It's essentially means Swadhyaya composed of 2 words, Swa and Adhyaya. A lesson, Swa is self, Adhyaya is a lesson, reading a chapter. So why? The why part of Swadhyaya. Human body is cleansed by water, the mind is cleansed by truth, and the soul by self-study and meditation, while understanding is cleansed by knowledge. So we also looked at few books which has profoundly changed the speakers, Trojana, and also Sharath also gave his perspective about autobiography of a yogi. Very profound session. Yesterday, which was the 18th day, we discussed about the 18 principles of PSSM. So we went through that in detail. So many of those over the last 17 days, or rather 18 days, we have been discussing. Instead of naming them, we have been discussing it, whether it is vegetarianism or anything else, meditation, being a master, all of this, we have been discussing it all through this last 18 days. The second part of it was the vegetarianism, which is, so Sunil walked us through 3 different angles, which is health, environment, and from a spiritual perspective. But the key essence from a spiritual essence, the spiritual essence of vegetarianism is love and oneness. All right, dear friends, that was a very quick summary of the last 18 days. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Shibu. What a recap. What a journey. Thanks to all the speakers, despite me as one of our participants right there today in the chat. We have so many S, right? Sagar, Sir, Sunil, Shibu, Sujana, Sharath, Sampath, Prithvi, and Yash. Thanks to all the speakers. Shibu, you're a beauty. You're an asset. Thank you so much. Friends, let's go ahead and finish today's topic as well. The most important topic, the purpose. Prithvi, over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prithvi.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Shibu, can you see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Yeah, thank you. So, good morning and good evening, dear friends. Today, I'll be taking you through the science and research perspective towards the sense of purpose. So, what is purpose, first of all? According to science and research, purpose is not a destination. It's not something that we achieve or attain like happiness. It's an ongoing process. It's a journey and it's a practice. So why should one pursue the sense of research? So the sense of purpose. So the research have discovered that that sense of purpose is linked to a number of good outcomes across the lifespan for both individuals and organizations. So having a sense of purpose gives a lot of benefits, not just physically, mentally, but in every aspect. So people with sense of purpose have reported higher level of happiness, greater longevity, lower stress levels, and better cognitive functioning. So there was a study done by the researchers, and they found out that people who have goals beyond the self have a higher well-being. So when a person has a goal which is not only stuck to self, but if one person thinks beyond the self, their well-being is totally taken care of. Whatever kind of lifestyle they lead, whatever they do, the enthusiasm for having the goal that is beyond the self, serving the humanity, serving the other being, makes their life much happier, peaceful, and harmonious. And that was found by the research as well. So, being in service to another person or another being means there is another study done by Greater Science of Goodness at the Berkeley University, and they found that a person experiences highest level of joy and happiness when they are in service to another being. So ultimately, we all of us want to experience that joy, happiness, and satisfaction. So it comes from the service. It comes from being of help to another person. So yesterday also there was a question like, how do you carry this energy to Shibu and Sam? And they both said that it is because of the meditation and the service. So service gives us a lot of immense joy and satisfaction. And there was a study done with people, around 40 people, who were successful in every area of life, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually, financially. So what one common thing they found out in these 40 people were, they all had a very strong sense of purpose, and their purpose was to serve the humanity. So ultimately, to be in service means one has to drop judgments, comparison, competition, hatred, jealous, pride. So all of these are the characteristics of ego. To align with the purpose of life, we have to drop the ego. To be in service, we have to drop the judgments, comparisons, hatred, and jealous. Only then we can get into a oneness feeling. So it's like a drop becoming the ocean. Initially, in the initial sessions, there was a question by Dr. Jia Madam about how do we go from delta frequency to gamma frequency, from the lowest to the highest frequency. I think this picture gives you a better understanding where becoming the tiniest part, from being a tiniest part, you become the whole. You drop your self identity totally and you become everything. From nothing, you become everything. So from 0 to 360 degree, the point of 0 and 360 degree is the same. So dropping the self and becoming the whole existence is where we drop the ego and become the whole and feel that oneness. If you see this prism, you all know that the white light passes through the prism and it refracts into 7 different colors. We all individuals are like this different color frequencies. We cannot say that I don't like the other color, I am jealous of the other color. We actually have to connect with each color. We have to come together in community. We have to be peaceful and harmonious and come together with love to become that pure white light. So to become that pure white light, we have to come together by dropping the ego and feel that oneness with the existence. That is where in the gamma frequency, we experience the super conscious level where there is no self-identity at all. We feel that oneness with the existence. We feel that white, pure light within us. So how do we actually cultivate this sense of purpose? When I was a 10-year-old kid, I was riding a bicycle with my friends, and suddenly there was a question that came into my mind: who am I? And suddenly I just stopped the bicycle. I became blank, and my whole surroundings started looking very differently. And the next question was, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I was totally blank, and then my friend called me, and I went back to playing. When I right now sit and reflect back on those questions, I get so much clarity about why I am on this planet. What is the purpose of my life? So, the easiest way for one to recognize what is their purpose of life is if you were given a magical wand, and if you're asked that you can bring in one change to people around you, to your neighbors, your city, your town, your country, your planet, what would that one single change be? And why that change? And think if you can, without that magic wand, can go and get closer to that change that you have thought of. So this will give a lot of clarity on what our purpose of life is. So recognize what are your strengths, clarify your personal values, and volunteer. Volunteering is a beautiful process where you start getting along with like-minded people. You will get to know that you're not alone in this journey of your purpose. There are a lot of more other people with common values and working on the same purpose. You start inspiring each other. That is what we are doing in this APS. The whole APS team has volunteered, and we inspire each other. We enthusiastically come and take the sessions, and after the sessions, we feel immensely joyful and satisfied for what we are doing, for being in service. And cultivate the positive emotion, especially the gratitude. Gratitude is a magical emotion which immediately puts us on a, a sense beyond which is self. We feel grateful for another being, where we drop our ego. It really helps us to drop the ego and connect with others. So the main important thing that we need to do is to align with the evolutionary process. The evolutionary process is still on. It is on in the conscious level, not in the physical level. It is no more the survival of the fittest. If we still strive to survive, if we still struggle to thrive in this life, competing, comparing, and still keep judging each other, we fall back to suffering. We fall back to the hell. So we have to actually move forward in the evolutionary process. We have to become more conscious, and that is where meditation practice comes in hand. We have to actually get aligned with the conscious evolution that is taking place and understand that right now it is not the survival of the fittest, it is the survival of the kindest. So get to know what your purpose of life is. Get along with people who have that common values. Read books, Sajjana Sangatya, Swa Adhyaya. All of these things will give a lot of clarity on the purpose of life and become more kind. Ultimately, we all want to feel and be in the highest frequency of energies like love, gratitude, kindness, and compassion. Thank you. Thank you, my dear friends.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Prithvi. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Friends, I remember telling one of the one of the first sessions, I gave you this word beat, B-E-A-T, breath, breath for meditation, and become conscious of the energy and awareness. And then T stands for thought. So I want to remind the same thing again. Be with breath, cut the thoughts, become aware of your own self, that you are a spirit and you are a soul, you're an energy, and you keep gaining knowledge with new experiences that we create in each life. So knowing that you are not the body is the light. And knowing that you are everything is love. So we need to be on this journey of love and light. That's when the way we live on this planet changes. So we understand that we are not this body, we are not into hoarding, accumulation. We act from the spiritual wisdom that when we leave this plane, we leave everything, including this body here. So why not we be wonderful guests to this planet and make this planet a heaven and leave a mark? Let's be an inspiration. For that, we need to have an understanding that we are not body, but we are beyond that. So meditation helps us do that. Same thing happened with Patriji, and once he was in a normal routine life like us, and a father of two daughters and a government employee, and he got enlightened, and he didn't stop there. He wanted to share this to everyone, and today millions of people are meditators and are able to connect to their self because of meditation. So, and they are able to understand how important it is to live in truth and live a joyful, peaceful, and a life full of love and light, and a purposeful life. And someone was asking a question here: isn't a sense of purpose contrary to the absence of sankalpa? We can talk about it, but we are running out of time. But remember, your intent is always part of the divine intent. You are part of the whole. So you are not separate. So there is no, you need a sankalpa when you want to manifest your personal thoughts. But remember, you and your sankalpa are always part of the universe. So when we act out of oneness, we have this understanding that there are no two things. Advaita. And yes, someone, Seema, typed about service here. Yes, love and service starts with our own self. Once we are in love, whatever we do is service. It starts with us and then spreads to others. And let's see in a short video the journey of Patri sir before we get into the enlightenment hour. Can Janisha play the video for us, just to see how PSSM and Patriji, has brought meditation and vegetarianism a lot of joy and knowledge to millions of people across.
అందరూ ధ్యానం చేయాలి, ధ్యానం నేర్చుకోవాలి, ధ్యానం చేయాలి. నేర్చుకున్నవాడు ధ్యానం చెప్తాడు వాడు. సో ధ్యానులు కాబోయే వాళ్ళందరికీ, ధ్యానులు అయిన వాళ్ళందరికీ, మాంసాహారులుగా ఇప్పుడు ఉండి రేపు శాకాహారులుగా కాబోయే వాళ్ళందరికీ, శాకాహారులుగా అయిన వాళ్ళందరికీ నా యొక్క నమస్కారం.
Wonderful. Thank you, Janish. Thank you so much, friends. We are 3 minutes late and it's already Enlightenment Hour. Sunil, can you please share the Enlightenment Hour link in Telegram and also on the Zoom chat so that people can join Enlightenment Hour right away?
Yes, Sampath. It's already put in the Zoom chat, and Telegram, it was already put yesterday. Yes.
So see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you so much. Let's switch over to Enlightenment Hour and see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.